Based on the historical data and forecast, Bitcoin shows a volatile trend with recent consolidation around $117,000. The RSI indicates that the asset is currently in a neutral range, fluctuating between 40.7 and 68.7. The Bollinger Bands suggest that the price is approaching the lower band, indicating a potential oversold condition. Considering these factors, I propose a combined strategy focusing on short-term gains. First, initiate a long position at $112,700, coinciding with the forecast price and the lower Bollinger Band. Place a stop-loss order at $111,300, just below the lower band to limit potential losses. Set a target price at $118,300, aligning with the recent resistance level. To refine the strategy, incorporate RSI signals. If the RSI falls below 20, indicating an oversold condition, consider adding to the position at $110,300, anticipating a bounce. Conversely, if the RSI reaches 80, signaling an overbought condition, consider taking partial profits at $115,300. This dynamic approach allows for capitalizing on short-term volatility while managing risk through strategic stop-loss and target levels. The portfolio is 60% long position, 20% RSI oversold, and 20% RSI overbought. This diversified approach balances potential gains with risk mitigation, aiming for high returns in a volatile market. Based on the historical data and forecast, Ethereum shows a fluctuating trend with a recent upward bias. The support price is consistently at $3,910, while the resistance has been around $4,550. The RSI has generally been above 50, indicating bullish momentum, but has recently approached overbought conditions. The Bollinger Bands have widened, suggesting increased volatility. Considering these factors, I recommend a moderately bullish strategy. We will enter a long position when the RSI dips below 30, indicating an oversold condition, targeting the $4,550 resistance level. The entry price will be $4,270, with a stop-loss placed just below the support level at $3,910, and a target price of $4,550. To refine this strategy, we'll incorporate Bollinger Bands analysis. If the price touches the lower band, which is around $4,300, it signals a potential buying opportunity. Conversely, if the price approaches the upper band, around $4,300, it suggests a possible exit point. Therefore, the final strategy combines RSI and Bollinger Bands. We enter a long position at $4,300 when the RSI is below 30. The stop-loss is set at $3,910, and the target is $4,550. This combined approach balances the indicators to maximize potential returns while mitigating risk. Based on the historical data and forecast, XRP shows a fluctuating trend with recent dips. The RSI indicates periods of oversold and overbought conditions. Considering the support price of $2.24 and the resistance of $3.14, we will implement a combined strategy using RSI and Bollinger Bands. We will initially focus on a long position when the RSI dips below 20, aiming to capitalize on potential rebounds. Specifically, when the RSI falls below 20, we will enter a long position at $2.95, placing a stop-loss order at $2.88 to limit potential losses. Our target price will be $3.14, aligning with the resistance level. To further refine our strategy, we'll incorporate Bollinger Bands. When the price touches the lower band and the RSI is below 20, it signals a strong buying opportunity. For example, on August 26, 2025, the forecast price is $2.95, and the lower Bollinger Band is $2.84. This confirms our entry point. If the price breaks above the upper Bollinger Band, we will consider taking profits or adjusting our stop-loss. Therefore, we will enter a long position at $2.95 with a stop-loss at $2.88 and a target price of $3.14. This combined approach seeks to maximize returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, BNB exhibits an overall upward trend, supported by consistently breaching the $800 mark and nearing the $850 resistance level. The RSI fluctuating between 55 and 70 indicates neither extreme overbought nor oversold conditions, suggesting a healthy momentum. Considering the forecast for the next week, with prices hovering around $840 to $850, a long position strategy is recommended. We will enter a long position at $840, placing a stop-loss order at $827 to mitigate potential downside risk. The initial target price will be set at $855, aligning with the previous resistance level. To refine this strategy, we incorporate Bollinger Bands. The price consistently staying above the upper band suggests continued bullish momentum. Therefore, if the price reaches $847, we will move the stop-loss to $843 to secure profits and reduce risk. If the price hits the $855 target, we will consider taking partial profits while maintaining a trailing stop-loss at $846 to capitalize on further upward movements. This combined approach, leveraging both RSI and Bollinger Bands, aims to maximize returns while effectively managing risk, resulting in a high-probability, high-reward investment portfolio. Based on the historical data and forecast, Solana shows a generally upward trend with periods of consolidation. The RSI fluctuating between 48 and 66 suggests the asset is neither strongly overbought nor oversold, but with a slight upward momentum. The Bollinger Bands indicate periods of volatility and potential price reversals. Considering the support price of $158 and resistance price of $192, and the forecast price ranging from $179 to $188, I recommend a moderately bullish strategy. We will initiate a long position at $181, placing a stop-loss order at $177 to limit potential losses. The initial target price will be $188, aiming to capture a short-term upward movement. To refine this strategy, we will incorporate RSI and Bollinger Band signals. If the RSI drops below 30, indicating an oversold condition, we will consider entering a long position at the prevailing price, with a stop-loss at the lower Bollinger Band. Conversely, if the RSI exceeds 70, suggesting an overbought scenario, we will consider exiting the current long position or shorting the asset. Given the forecast, I suggest a revised target price of $191, reflecting the potential for further gains. This portfolio combines the trend-following approach with RSI and Bollinger Band signals for enhanced risk management and potentially higher returns. Based on the historical data and forecast, TRON shows a slight upward trend, bouncing around the support price of $0.338. The RSI fluctuates between 59.9 and 78.9, indicating periods of both oversold and overbought conditions. The Bollinger Bands have been widening recently, suggesting increased volatility. Given the current RSI of 62.4 on August 19, 2025, and the forecast prices hovering around $0.35, I recommend a long position with an entry price of $0.348. Set a stop-loss order at $0.338, just below the support level, to mitigate potential losses. Aim for a target price of $0.35, aligning with the forecast and the upper end of the recent trading range. To refine this strategy, I'll incorporate RSI and Bollinger Band signals. If the RSI drops below 20, consider a long entry. If the RSI exceeds 80, consider a short entry. If the price touches the lower Bollinger Band, it signals a potential buying opportunity. If the price touches the upper Bollinger Band, it signals a potential selling opportunity. Combining these signals, the most efficient portfolio would be a long position with an entry price of $0.348, a stop-loss at $0.338, and a target of $0.35, adjusting the position based on the RSI and Bollinger Band signals to maximize returns. Based on the historical data and forecast, Dogecoin exhibits a downtrend with decreasing forecast prices. The RSI consistently remains below 80, indicating no overbought conditions, but dips below 30 on August 19, 2025, signaling a potential oversold scenario. The Bollinger Bands show contraction, suggesting decreasing volatility. Considering these factors, I propose a short-term contrarian strategy focusing on the oversold RSI reading. We will enter a short position at $0.211 with a stop-loss at $0.223, just above the upper Bollinger Band. The initial target price is $0.172, aligning with the established support level. To maximize returns, we'll implement a dynamic target strategy. If the price reaches $0.172, we will move the stop loss to break even, protecting our initial investment. Subsequently, we will adjust the target price based on the Bollinger Band midpoint. If the price retraces to the midpoint, around $0.22, we will close 50% of our position and adjust the stop loss for the remaining position to $0.211, aiming for a secondary target of $0.172. This strategy balances risk and reward, capitalizing on potential bounces while protecting against further downside. Based on the historical data and forecast, Cardano shows a generally upward trend with periods of consolidation. The RSI fluctuates, indicating periods of overbought and oversold conditions. The Bollinger Bands have widened recently, suggesting increased volatility. Considering these factors, I recommend a combined strategy incorporating RSI and Bollinger Bands for optimal returns. We will implement a tiered approach, focusing on capitalizing on pullbacks and breakouts. First, we will initiate a long position at $0.887, coinciding with a forecast price near the lower Bollinger Band and below the support level of $0.831. This entry price targets a potential bounce. The stop loss will be set at $0.831, just below the support price, to limit potential losses. The initial target price will be $0.915, the recent resistance level. If the price breaks above $0.915, we will move the stop loss to the entry price of $0.887 and set a new target price of $0.952, the previous high. This strategy aims to capture short-term gains while mitigating risk through strategic stop-loss placements. Based on the historical data and forecast, Chainlink exhibits an overall upward trend. The price has consistently tested the 24.0 resistance level, suggesting a potential breakout. The RSI values, though fluctuating, generally remain within a range that doesn't indicate extreme overbought or oversold conditions. The Bollinger Bands show that the price is currently near the upper band, indicating a potential for a pullback. Therefore, I propose a strategy combining RSI and Bollinger Bands to capitalize on this momentum. We will enter a long position when the RSI dips below 60 and the price touches the lower Bollinger Band. The entry price will be $23.7. The stop loss will be set at $21.8, just below the established support level. The initial target price will be $27.8, aligning with the forecast for August 26, 2025. To enhance the strategy, we can implement a trailing stop loss. Once the price reaches $25.7, we will adjust the stop loss to $23.7. As the price continues to rise, we will further adjust the stop loss to maintain a profit margin. The final target price will be $27.8 based on the forecast. This approach combines the momentum of the upward trend with risk management techniques, ensuring a high return potential while minimizing downside risk. The portfolio will consist of 60% based on the RSI and Bollinger Band strategy, 20% based on the support and resistance strategy, and 20% based on the forecast data. Based on the historical data and forecast, Wrapped Beacon ETH shows a generally upward trend, although with considerable volatility. The RSI consistently fluctuates, indicating periods of both overbought and oversold conditions. The Bollinger Bands demonstrate significant price swings, suggesting high market uncertainty. Considering these factors, I propose a combined strategy incorporating all three indicators for optimal returns. First, we will initiate a long position at $4,590 when the price touches the support level, placing a stop-loss order at $4,400 to mitigate potential losses. The initial target price will be $4,810, aligning with the forecast for August 20, 2025. To maximize potential gains, we will implement a dynamic target price strategy based on the RSI and Bollinger Bands. If the RSI reaches $80, we will partially secure profits at $4,630, then move the stop loss to the entry price of $4,590. Subsequently, if the price breaks through the upper Bollinger Band, we will set a new target price of $4,720, while adjusting the stop loss to the center of the Bollinger Band. This approach allows us to capitalize on upward momentum while protecting against sudden reversals, resulting in a high-return investment portfolio. Based on the historical data and forecast, NEXO shows a declining trend. The price has been fluctuating between a support of $1.23 and a resistance of $1.31. The RSI indicates that the asset is generally neutral, with readings fluctuating around 50, but recently dipping towards oversold territory. The Bollinger Bands show that the price has been trading within the bands, with the lower band consistently at $1.27. Considering the forecast data, which predicts a continued downward trend, I recommend a short selling strategy. We will enter a short position at $1.31. The stop loss will be set at $1.36, just above the upper Bollinger Band, to limit potential losses if the price unexpectedly reverses. The target price is $1.23, aligning with the established support level and the predicted downward trajectory. This strategy combines trend analysis, RSI signals, and Bollinger Band confirmation to maximize potential returns while managing risk effectively. This portfolio is the most efficient strategy because it combines the three strategies. Based on the historical data and forecast, ApeCoin exhibits a slightly downward trend with periods of consolidation. The RSI consistently remains above the oversold level of 20, indicating a lack of strong selling pressure. The Bollinger Bands show that the price has been fluctuating within a range, and the forecast suggests continued consolidation around $0.6. Given these factors, I recommend a moderately bullish strategy. We will initiate a long position when the price touches the support level of $0.54. The stop loss will be set just below the support at $0.53 to limit potential losses. The target price will be $0.65, aligning with the recent resistance levels and providing a reasonable profit margin. To refine this strategy, we will incorporate the RSI and Bollinger Band signals. If the RSI falls below 40 while the price is near the 0.54 support, it strengthens the buy signal. Conversely, if the price touches the lower Bollinger Band around $0.53, it also reinforces the entry point. If the price reaches $0.65, we will take partial profits and move the stop loss to the break-even level of $0.54. This adaptive approach allows us to capitalize on potential upward movements while mitigating risks associated with price volatility. This strategy aims for a high return with a calculated risk. Based on the historical data and forecast, Vaulta demonstrates a volatile trend with periods of both upward and downward movement. The RSI consistently fluctuates, indicating indecision in the market. Currently, the RSI is below 50, suggesting a slight bearish momentum, but not deeply oversold. The Bollinger Bands show that the price has been oscillating within the bands, with recent movement towards the lower band. The forecast predicts a continued downward trend, with prices decreasing from $0.51 to $0.475 over the next week. Therefore, I recommend a short position strategy. My strategy involves entering a short position at $0.51. The stop loss should be set at $0.52 to protect against a potential upward reversal. The initial target price is $0.49, aiming to capitalize on the predicted downward trend. If the price reaches $0.49, consider moving the stop loss to break even to secure profits and potentially target a secondary price of $0.475. This approach combines technical indicators and forecast data to maximize potential returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, Artificial Superintelligence Alliance shows a downtrend with decreasing forecast prices. The RSI consistently hovers around the 40 to 50 range, indicating neither strong overbought nor oversold conditions. The Bollinger Bands have been contracting, suggesting decreasing volatility. Considering the support price of $0.616 and the recent downtrend, a conservative strategy is recommended. We will implement a contrarian strategy targeting a potential bounce from the support level. The entry price will be $0.665, with a stop loss placed just below the support at $0.61 to limit potential losses. The initial target price will be the resistance level of $0.7, aiming for a quick profit. To refine the portfolio, we will incorporate the Bollinger Bands. If the price touches the lower band around $0.652 during the forecast period, it strengthens the buy signal. In this case, we will adjust the entry price to $0.658 and maintain the stop loss at $0.61. If the price reaches the upper band, it signals a potential reversal, and we will tighten the stop loss to $0.67. The final target price will be $0.75, capitalizing on a potential upward movement. This combined strategy balances risk and reward, leveraging both RSI and Bollinger Bands for informed decision-making. Based on the historical data and forecast, dYdX shows a volatile trend with periods of both upward and downward movement. The RSI fluctuates between 49.7 and 67.4, indicating periods of oversold and overbought conditions. The Bollinger Bands also reflect this volatility, with prices frequently touching or crossing the upper and lower bands. Considering the current forecast, which predicts a slight downward trend initially, followed by stabilization around $0.644 to $0.654, I recommend a cautious strategy focusing on short-term gains. We will implement a combined strategy utilizing RSI and Bollinger Bands, prioritizing risk management. Our strategy involves a long position when the RSI dips below 40, and the price touches the lower Bollinger Band, and a short position when the RSI exceeds 70, and the price touches the upper Bollinger Band. Currently, the RSI is around 50, and the price is near the center of the Bollinger Bands. We will wait for an opportune moment. If the price drops to $0.629 and the RSI falls below 40, we will enter a long position with a stop loss at $0.613, support price, and a target price of $0.664, previous resistance. Conversely, if the price rises to $0.74 and the RSI exceeds 70, we will enter a short position with a stop loss at $0.664 and a target price of $0.613. This combined approach leverages both momentum and volatility indicators to maximize potential returns while minimizing risk. Based on the historical data and forecast, Zcash demonstrates a declining trend with decreasing forecast prices, suggesting a potential downward movement. The RSI consistently remains below 50, with values fluctuating between 36.9 and 50.9, indicating a generally oversold condition. Considering the forecast, the price is expected to drop further, potentially reaching the support level of $34.3. We will implement a contrarian strategy, anticipating a bounce from the support level. The entry price will be $34.8, coinciding with a recent low. A stop loss will be placed just below the support level at $34 to mitigate potential losses if the price continues to decline. The target price will be set at $36.6, the recent resistance level, aiming to capitalize on a potential short-term rebound. To refine the strategy, we'll incorporate the Bollinger Bands. The price has been consistently near the lower band, reinforcing the oversold signal. We will initiate a long position at $34, with a stop loss at $33.9 and a target price of $35.1. This strategy combines the RSI oversold signal with the Bollinger Bands indication of a potential bounce, aiming for a balanced approach. The final portfolio will allocate 60% to the contrarian strategy with an entry price of $34.8, a stop loss of $34, and a target price of $36.6, and 40% to the Bollinger Band strategy with an entry price of $34, a stop loss of $33.9, and a target price of $35.1. Based on the historical data and forecast, SUN token shows a slight upward trend. The RSI consistently hovers above 60, indicating bullish momentum, with peaks nearing the overbought level of 80. The Bollinger Bands have been expanding slightly, suggesting increasing volatility and potential for price movement. Considering the support price of $0.0226 and the resistance of $0.0246, I recommend a long position strategy. We will enter a long position at $0.0234, placing a stop-loss order at $0.0226 to limit potential losses. The initial target price will be $0.0246, aligning with the resistance level. To refine the strategy, we'll incorporate the RSI and Bollinger Band signals. If the RSI drops below 30, we will hold the position. If the price touches the bottom of the Bollinger Bands, we will consider a partial profit taking at $0.024 and maintain the remaining position with a revised target of $0.025. If the RSI reaches 80 and the price touches the top of the Bollinger Bands, we will take full profit at $0.0246. This combined approach leverages multiple indicators to optimize returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, Lido DAO shows an overall upward trend, supported by consistent price increases from August 6 to August 19, 2025. The forecast for the subsequent week indicates a stable price range around $1.4, further reinforcing a bullish outlook. Considering the RSI values, which have generally remained above 50, suggesting that the asset is not currently oversold, and the Bollinger Bands, where the price has recently touched the upper band, indicating potential overbought conditions, a cautious yet optimistic approach is warranted. Therefore, I recommend a long position with an entry price of $1.39, a stop-loss set at $1.22, coinciding with the support level, and a target price of $1.42, aligning with the forecast and recent resistance levels. To refine this strategy, we'll incorporate the RSI and Bollinger Band signals. If the RSI dips below 30, indicating an oversold condition, we'll enter a long position at the lowest price within the Bollinger Bands, with a stop-loss just below the lower band and a target price at the middle band. Conversely, if the RSI exceeds 70, signaling an overbought situation, we'll consider a short position at the highest price within the Bollinger Bands, with a stop-loss just above the upper band and a target price at the middle band. Combining these signals, the most efficient portfolio will prioritize the long position at $1.39 with a stop-loss at $1.22 and a target price of $1.42, adjusting based on RSI and Bollinger Band signals for optimal risk-reward ratio. Based on the historical data and forecast, TRON shows a slight upward trend, bouncing around the support price of $0.338. The RSI fluctuates between 59.9 and 78.9, indicating periods of both oversold and overbought conditions. The Bollinger Bands have been widening recently, suggesting increased volatility. Given the current RSI of 62.4 on August 19, 2025, and the forecast prices hovering around $0.35, I recommend a long position with an entry price of $0.348. Set a stop-loss order at $0.338, just below the support level, to mitigate potential losses. Aim for a target price of $0.35, aligning with the forecast and the upper end of the recent trading range. To refine this strategy, I'll incorporate RSI and Bollinger Band signals. If the RSI drops below 20, consider a long entry. If the RSI exceeds 80, consider a short entry. If the price touches the lower Bollinger Band, it signals a potential buying opportunity. If the price touches the upper Bollinger Band, it signals a potential selling opportunity. Combining these signals, the most efficient portfolio would be a long position with an entry price of $0.348, a stop-loss at $0.338, and a target of $0.35, adjusting the position based on the RSI and Bollinger Band signals to maximize returns. Based on the historical data and forecast, PAX Gold shows a slight downtrend with decreasing prices. The support price remains consistent at $3,270, while the resistance fluctuates around $3,330. The RSI consistently falls below 50, indicating a bearish momentum. Considering the forecast for the next week, the price is expected to continue its decline, reaching $3,260. We will implement a short selling strategy. The entry price will be $3,310, with a stop-loss set at $3,340 to protect against a potential rebound. The target price will be $3,270, aiming to capitalize on the anticipated downward trend. To enhance the strategy, we will incorporate Bollinger Bands. The price is currently near the middle band, and the lower band is around $3,290. A break below $3,290 would confirm the downtrend and provide an additional entry point. We will allocate 60% of our capital to the short selling strategy with an entry price of $3,310, a stop loss at $3,340, and a target price of $3,270. The remaining 40% will be held in reserve, ready to enter a long position if the price rebounds and breaks above the upper Bollinger Band of $3,400. This blended approach offers flexibility and maximizes potential returns by adapting to market fluctuations.